Yeah, fuck it. JSN gets his first touchdown this weekend. You heard it here
I'm
first.
saying he's a healthy scratch.
It's just not gonna happen.
Alrighty. And welcome back to another episode of JR Takes. As always, Ryan and I coming at you. And Ryan, a little disappointing loss over the weekend against the Bengals. But I'm honestly, I have a lot to, or I guess I should say, not a lot to hang my head over. I thought the defense looked really good. The offense, a little bit of question marks there. And we'll get to some of my main points as to why we lost that game. But what did you think about the defensive play?
Yeah, it was, honestly, in a way, it was almost more impressive than what we did against the Giants on defense, because this isn't just, a normal NFL offense that we're playing against. It's the best wide receiver trio in the league.
Yeah.
Quarterbacked by a guy who at times people have thought of as the best quarterback in the league. Joe Burrow is legit in that top tier of quarterbacks, especially when he's at full health, which he looked pretty close to it against us. And the game gets started and it looks like it's going to be a shootout, and then it's like after that second quarter, it was a complete defensive slugfest. And man, Trey Brown came to fucking play on Sunday. That guy's one-on-one against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and he gets a critical pass breakup on third down to give us a chance to win the game at the end there, and he gets a pick. He looked like a mini Richard Sherman on that play, following the guy down the sideline, getting his head around and jumping at the last minute. That was just beautiful. So.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from Trey Brown. I was a little bit, I don't know if you noticed this, but it seemed like Tariq Woolen was getting beat quite a bit out there. But that's going to happen. We got to remember, he's only in his second year. So.
And he tightened it up in the second half. Really,
yeah.
It was just those two drives that we kind of had a few coverage lapses. But besides that, we were just plastering.
What was the score again at halftime?
It was 14-10 at half.
So there was only 2 field goals the whole second half?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I saw a stat today that we're the number 1 defense in the NFL in yards per carry.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's something that after week 1, we were hovering around there, and I was like, well, the Rams don't have a great rushing attack. Then after week 2, it's like, well, the Lions didn't try to run the ball that much. We're 6 weeks into this thing now. Granted, we've only played 5 games, but still, I don't think it's a fluke that our run defense has improved so much. I think it's legit. And
hey, if Brock Purdy gets all that praise for being undefeated or whatever with all those weapons around him, then we should get praise for kicking shitty offenses' asses.
I agree.
Like the Giants.
Yeah.
I know that they didn't have Barkley, but we broke a franchise record. We fucked them up so bad.
Yeah, and I mean, 11 sacks isn't like a fluky thing.
Yeah.
You have to be dominating to do that. So I never really felt like we got the credit we deserved on defense. But yeah, it's crazy how the script has flipped in a matter of 3 weeks here with the Seahawks team, because it was looking to me like, again, we were going to have an elite offense and a shaky defense. And, I think the offense is going to figure it out. I think there's been some unfortunate injuries and just kind of some bad luck with plays being missed that are there to be had. But the defense the last 2 weeks that's as good of a 2-game stretch where in total in those 2 games we're allowing 10 points a game. 17 this week, 3 the week before. And that's as good of a 1-2 defensive performance that we've had in at least 5 years. I would even go further back than that.
I think I haven't really watched a Seahawks team where I felt like the defense could really carry us a long way this year. And I remember we talked about this yesterday, how we're kind of a year away from making a real run, but I think it really depends on health. And if everyone on the defense can stay healthy, I think we can be dangerous in December and January.
This sounds crazy to say, especially thinking a few weeks back, but right now, if the defense continues to play the way it's played the last 2 weeks, we're gonna be in every single game against every single NFL opponent. A team like Miami might be tough because they just are so dominant on offense, but I really do think that a Super Bowl aspiration is not a distant thought for this team with the defense playing like this. You know, Devin Witherspoon is a legit fucking star, man.
Yeah.
He is the real deal.
He's also getting recognized by, national media. Pro Football Focus has him, I think, a top, 5 rookie as far as his grade goes.
Well, and I think in the league he's top 10 in combined pass breakups and interceptions, and he's played 2 less games than a lot of the people that are on that list. So the impact he's had in the last 3 games is just, it's extremely rare and frankly kind of unheard of from a rookie, because he has the ability to be a blitzer that no other corner I really can remember us has. He's like a second Jamal Adams in that aspect.
He really is a game changer, like a Sauce Gardner. And I remember I might have even said it on the podcast that I didn't feel like we got a guy like that. And I'm so wrong. He's probably our biggest weapon on defense as far as making plays and creating turnover. Well, maybe Jamal Adams is that guy, but I don't know.
But having both of them is crazy, and you got to see that on full display finally for a full game, which was just so great to see, because I'm a big Jamal Adams fan. I think he's kind of gotten shafted by bad injury luck, but yeah, both those guys, they made their presence felt in this game, especially you think of that 3rd and long where they just try to dump off screen, which we've given up a lot of those in years past. But Jamal sniffs it out and just murders the guy for a 2-yard loss, and we're getting the ball back. Those two,
that was pretty awesome to see, yeah.
Yeah, and they just play with amount of juice that seems like we've been missing for a long time on that defense.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, too, to hold the Bengals to 17 points, that makes me feel really good about games heading into the future, because that was such a winnable game. And I'll kind of segue onto the offense.
Yeah, we need to get the negatives out of the way, and I don't really have any on defense, so.
No, the defense played, if you give up 17 points to the Bengals, that's a game that
you should win that game.
You should be winning that game.
I was just thinking that, 17 points, it's the offense crumbled.
Really? Yeah, any team really giving up 17 points to, but especially the Bengals. They're the best offense in the league, arguably.
We're not going to play a better receiver trio than that, until the next time we play the Bengals. Or if we play the Dolphins or something. But even then.
And I just thought that Geno Smith, I love the guy, but he had so many opportunities yesterday to win us the game or give us the lead late, and he just didn't make plays, didn't see his open receivers, and it was disappointing, because I thought that he was good enough to make those plays, but I know it's going to be up and down. He's not going to be lights out every game. He's not Peyton Manning or Tom Brady.
So the unfortunate thing is Geno actually made a lot of really impressive throws in that game. I got to see the throw to Tyler Lockett to the 10-yard line with 45 seconds left. It looked like we were going to win the game in that situation before the red zone, man. The red zone was just our fucking Achilles heel in this game. We had 5 trips into the red zone this game. And we came away with 10 points. Yeah. If we just kicked fucking field goals every time, we win this game 18-17. That's literally all we had to do. It's Geno's big. The thing is, Geno played a pretty solid game, but there was 3 misses, maybe 4, 2 sacks that I would arguably put on him, and 2 interceptions. You take even just one of those mistakes out, and we probably win this game pretty easily. But, there was JSN running wide open down the left sideline, DK getting wide open a couple times and not getting hit. I think holding onto the ball a little too long a couple times. But the fact of the matter is, he got pressured on almost 50% of his dropbacks, and that's what we did to Daniel Jones a few weeks ago, and you saw what that turned into for the Giants.
Which is insane, by the way.
Yeah, so the offensive line was not doing us any favors, and they've done a really good job this year, but they weren't creating any holes for Kenneth Walker or Charbonnet. They were giving Geno less than 3 seconds virtually every play the whole game. So I can't be too hard on him, because really, it's if we just had even bad protection, we probably win this game. But we had abysmal protection in this game. And, you know, like if Geno just makes one play, we're sitting here at 4-1, just a game back from the Niners.
I think ultimately that's why I was right after the game so upset with Geno, is because all he needed to do was just make one of those red zone trips, turn it into a touchdown ideally. But he just couldn't do it, and it did seem like he was holding on to the ball when he should have gotten rid of it, and it was just like.
Which you could put a little. I mean, let's talk about Shane Waldron too, because I felt like if you look at the replay of especially those 2 4th down plays. Now the first one, Geno could have dumped it off to Charbonnet like immediately. And Charbonnet might be walking in, and we might be having a whole different conversation right now. But he wasn't the primary read. They were trying to hit Lockett, but on both those situations, you know, you're inside the 10-yard line or right around it. I'd like to see a lot quicker developing play than what they drew up, because both times they tried to do something that was sort of a longer developing route where you had guys mesh and then ideally someone breaks free in the end zone. And on the last play of the game, if Geno had half a second longer, he may have been able to hit Parkinson in the corner for a touchdown, because he's matched up on a safety who he's like a foot taller than. So I liked that one a little more, but still it took 3 seconds for him to get open. I don't know why we don't just do a quick slant over the middle. You know, the Bengals are dropping into flat zone. Like, you have like 7 people playing zone on that play because they have their eye on the quarterback. If you just do a timing route or something like the Rams do all the time with Stafford, just something to protect your quarterback and get the ball out sooner.
And I don't know why we don't do that with JSN, because he seems like the perfect body type, like,
or even
replica of a Cooper Kupp, someone that has hands and can run routes to a T.
Yeah, and I mean, I think even like a Jake Bobo in that situation, he's good at getting initial separation, and he's big. That
was 6'4". Awesome when he got destroyed and then got right back up.
Dude, yeah, that was a Bobo freaking play. That was so cool.
When he got hit, I was like, oh, holy fuck, that reminds me of like 2010 or something.
Yeah, there was a flag. Unnecessary roughness. Yeah. And it was so annoying because on the broadcast, Charles Davis is like, yeah, I'm not seeing why that's a flag there. As like Jake Bobo's face is getting crushed by a helmet. I'm like, dude, how many different slow motion angles of this do you need to see before you get the flag?
Yeah,
Charles Davis fucking sucks. He blows as a commentator.
He's part of the reason why I don't play Madden anymore. So.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose him to take on that role.
It's like in Madden, quick side note, they've gone like this with their commentary choices.
Yeah, they made me miss Phil Simms. I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, they made me miss a guy who always blamed me for worrying about my stats when I would do a check down to a running back.
Yeah. Well, the quarterback's just worried about his stats there. Yeah, but it was just goddamn, was it a beyond frustrating game offensively, because you look at the box score and you think this should be a blowout. We outgained them by 180 yards. We held the Bengals to 200 fucking yards, most of which came on their first 2 drives. That's an incredible performance. And we had almost 400 ourselves. We possessed the ball for almost 2/3 of the game. We had twice as many first downs as them. How do we only get 13 points out of that? It's just crazy. And I feel like we've never had a game where 2 turnovers were more impactful than this one.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a good game to lose, if that makes sense. It's an AFC game. We had the opportunities to win the game.
It was right there for us.
Yeah.
Like
we
6 times.
Like Pete said on his Monday interview, they just didn't execute.
Yeah.
And...
Yeah. It doesn't give me any like long-term worries, because the Bengals, let's give them credit, their defensive line just kicked our ass for 3 hours up front. And
which I did not see coming.
I mean, Trey Hendrickson, I guess I haven't been paying attention to him, but he's been elite this season. So maybe I should have done more research on how the Bengals defense has been performing, because I thought we were going to kind of have our way with them coming into the game. But they came to play. You always worry about playing a good team with a losing record like the Bengals, because we were all shocked by the way the season started for them, because they've been in the AFC Championship the last 2 years. They're an excellent team. They almost made it to the Super Bowl last year they probably should have won it the year before that. It's not like this is a easy opponent.
Well, and I picked us to lose this game anyway. Last week I chose us to win, but when we made our prior to season predictions, I chose us to lose this game because
I think I did too.
Going into Cincinnati, I think we were 4-1 or 3-1, whatever our record, 3-1. I think that's what I predicted originally anyway. So
the bye, does that have a factor in like
we've been bad coming off the bye the last like 4 seasons.
It was the offense defense was great. But
yeah.
The offense after the bye, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Right after the game, I was like pissed at Gino and like, we need to draft
Me too.
whatever. But now I'm like, it was one game. He has proven
it's not like
he's earned the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, he played way better than like Brock Purdy did against a good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, and like Jalen Hurts against the Jets, he looked horrible.
Yeah, the Jets defense looked so good.
Yeah, when they're like playing with a lot of energy, they are tough.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Well, anyway.
But I guess just to kind of put a pin in this one, it was a huge missed opportunity, one that we may look back on with regret, but I'm not concerned long term. We have a couple easier games coming up here, starting off with Buckle Up and the Cardinals. This should be a get-right game. We're at home.
We better come with the fire in our gut.
We better come with the fire in our gut because I want a 2-score win. This team is just annoying enough to where they could upset us at home, and if that happens, I'm gonna be very worried about this season because we're about to play some tough teams here in November.
Yeah, that I could easily see that happening too. I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does, I'll be like, I'll have the feeling, I guess, that I had after the Rams game. Like, I'm not surprised that the Cardinals came out and basically hit us in the mouth because they've done that before.
Yeah,
but
we're just,
I don't know. I feel like we're going to be kind of pissed off after that loss and come out with a fire in our gut.
I think Gino's going to have a bounce back performance.
Yeah.
Because he the first thing he said in his press conference after the game was he didn't play well enough. And, that's something that I really respect about him is he has the humility.
Yeah, when was the last time Russ said that?
I don't recall ever hearing that out of him, honestly. I think he would start a game with like, obviously it didn't go the way we wanted today or something like that. But anywho, a lot of games around the league really went our way this weekend, which just makes it sting a little more that we lost. But also, on the flip side of that, we didn't lose that much ground because the 49ers lose to the Browns. Amazing. Eagles lose to the Jets. That's a great result for us. Mm-hmm. What else happened around the league? We had the Rams winning, which was unfortunate, but a bunch of NFC teams like the Saints, for example, who we may be vying with for a playoff spot, they lose at home to the Texans, or maybe it was on the road.
It was on the road.
But yeah, they lose to the Texans, who, by the way, look like a sneaky wild card contender to me this year. They don't look like the dog shit team that I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, they certainly look like they have that young core of like what they need to be to build around. Plus, D'Amico Ryan seems like
and dude,
CJ,
my boy CJ Stroud is looking like one of the more impressive rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, I can't believe how good he's looked. I thought he was going to be an idiot and throw like 40 interceptions.
I kind of thought that too.
He's done the exact opposite.
I mean, like in the draft process with him, he just was really blowing me away. But then I remember there was like that test the quarterbacks take that he scored really poorly on, and I was like, uh-oh. But
What's that test you're talking about?
It's like the Wonderlic test or something like that.
I don't know what it's called. It's
whatever
quarterbacks
scored like the highest score ever on it. So there you go.
Combine, or?
It's just part of the pre-draft process. Oh, okay. But I don't know. Lamar Jackson got like a 5% on it. So, so I don't know how valuable it is. But anywho, a lot of NFC teams went down this week. The Cowboys, they're 3-2, I think.
Yeah,
3-3 or 4-2 or something like that. They have 2 losses for sure. So we're not super far behind any team. You know, we have our win over the Lions. That's our signature win so far of the season. Our odds long term are still very good for this season. And there's not really any team I'm looking at in the conference that I think we have no chance against. Like, if we play the Niners and our defense plays the way it has been, we just got to make a couple plays and we could steal a win from them.
I'm also not afraid of the Cowboys at all. I think we will kick their ass.
They're the most overrated, right?
Yeah,
Overrated.
I think the Rams are better than the Cowboys, dude. Like, if we had to play one of those teams right now, I'm taking the Cowboys. Like, yeah, they got Micah Parsons, but if we just, do our 2 tight end, 3 tight end set constantly and help our line out, I think we got a good chance, especially with the Diggs being out in their secondary.
I just don't think, like, when I think of teams with a good defense, I think of teams that, like, are tough and run the ball. And the Cowboys suck at both of those things. They're not tough, and they're not that good at running the ball.
And they should have lost to the Chargers are the biggest choke artists I've, like, ever seen. It's like they're the AFC
Justin
version
Herbert.
of the
I swear
Falcons.
to God, I've said it since he entered the league. He's Jay Cutler.
Yeah, I don't understand.
He doesn't win.
I don't understand what's wrong with him because it's like on paper he should be the best quarterback ever. But then he plays and he just loses. Like over and over. I don't understand
I
him.
think he has a losing record in the NFL still.
Or it's like right around 500.
Yeah.
And he's kind of just like he's the quarterback that makes you want more. Like, he leaves more to be desired than any quarterback I can remember seeing.
It's funny. He's kind of like just another Phillip Rivers for the Chargers. He's good. He's more talented than Phillip Rivers, but he doesn't play like he should be.
He's more talented than Phillip Rivers, but on average, Phillip Rivers was a better quarterback in his career than Herbert has been so far.
And you could argue he had less weapons. I mean, even though he had a Hall of Fame tight end, his best receiver was Vincent Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace. But yeah, I mean, Keenan Allen is as good as they come at wide receiver. He's one of those guys that I feel like if he was on like a East Coast team, they would be talking about him as a Hall of Famer because he's put up Hall of Fame stats.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen is excellent.
They also have the what?
I was just gonna say I'm really glad we drafted JSN and not Quentin Johnston because he has been worthless.
I'm not gonna touch a TCU receiver until they prove me wrong because after Jalen Reagor, I'm like never again.
And a quick side note about JSN, he had his best game of his career so far. And, if Geno sees him on the sideline, we're talking about a 100-yard performance with a touchdown for JSN. They finally started targeting him downfield more, and look what happened. He broke free a bit. So
except for that one.
The interception.
That was bad.
I don't know why Geno threw that ball.
As Geno Suarez would say, it was bad. It was just bad.
Yeah, because it's like when the play first hit, it looked like he was maybe open, but by the time Geno threw it, there was like 3 guys, right? Like, even if that one guy didn't pick it.
Yeah, it was not a good decision.
That was
probably the worst pick of the two that I would say.
Yeah, Geno's worst 2 plays of the game. I'm not gonna the pick to Metcalf. That was kind of a weird play.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
That was like a blown. That was like.
It's like a miscommunication.
It was just they were not on the same page. And also, I mean, Taylor Britt had a fucking awesome game at corner for the Bengals. He had that. He that was a tough catch to make that pick.
He was reading it.
And he also was like giving DK kind of a run for his money in physicality. I saw some replays where he was checking him and press at the line of scrimmage. Like, I have not seen a cornerback that size really bring it to DK like ever. So shout out to him. I'm annoyed that you did that because it made us lose, but hey, credit where it's due. But yeah, Geno's worst 2 plays of the day, I think, involved JSN in some way because he threw the pick, just forcing the ball to him when it wasn't there, and then he takes off and runs for 10 yards, which was like on the surface a good play, but you see the replay and JSN's like, throw me the ball wide open down the sideline for what would have probably been the game-winning score. So I think we're just very close to being an elite offense. The line and just these little lapses in execution are holding us back from getting there. But I think it's going to happen. And when it does, watch out.
I agree. I think we're a week, if not 2, if not 3, but max 3 weeks away from really figuring things out and hitting the ground running, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm starting, the longer I'm getting to digest this team and this season, the more I'm actually looking forward to the gauntlet run of 49ers, Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles, because, you know, if you're going to go on a run, you can't just play a cupcake schedule and not beat anybody all year. You have to play some tough opponents, and you have to win.
That's why the Saints suck. Because the Saints don't play anyone good. They beat they beat shitty teams and lose to good teams.
And honestly, in the late 2000s, mid 2000s, when the Seahawks were winning the NFC West,
that's
like
what we were.
Yeah,
we sucked. We were beating the bad teams and getting destroyed by the good teams.
Yeah, especially after the 06 season, which granted they almost made the NFC Championship.
Well, remember too in the 2000s how bad the NFC West was. We won the division so many years.
I mean, we won the division at
garbage.
7-9.
We were in high school, right?
Yeah.
Beastquakes, 2010.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah. But it's a different situation now. Even this year, we thought the NFC West was going to be a joke, and the Cardinals are better than what you would normally think of for a 1-5 team. I mean, they beat the Cowboys, and they kind of beat the brakes off of them.
They're an annoying 1-5 team.
Yeah. And
like you said earlier, I think they're better than teams like the Steelers.
Yeah, which is weird because the Steelers might fuck around and make the playoffs by some disgusting miracle. They're the ugliest team in the league. There's not a team that I have less fun watching this year than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was going to say the Giants, but I like watching Daniel Jones get punished.
It's kind of
And I like watching Brian Dable get really pissed off. So.
But with the Steelers, you're just like, oh my God, like make it stop. Like get it off the screen. And then you're like, what? They won?
And then you see Najee Harris like run and get like 1.7 yards a carry per game.
I saw someone post a meme that was like, Najee Harris looks like he's
running
playing with jeans
on. I saw that too because he was like running so slow, but like moving his body like this.
You know who has another funny run is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Pete Carroll when he just plays football.
His hips are like too wide. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you look at the NFC, and I feel like there's like 3 good teams, and maybe 4, and I think we are one of those good teams. And a lot of stats like EPA per play and stuff like that point to that as well. So it looks like, Niners at the top, Eagles, Lions, and us probably, hovering around that tier. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if things play out a certain way and we make the playoffs, even if we don't win the division, I feel like a team like the Lions, if they have to go into San Francisco, there's a chance they could pull that win and we don't even have to play them at all.
Yeah, the Lions are kind of that other team besides us, that dark horse. That kind of makes me a little nervous about, who we're going to potentially play in the playoffs. I think if we play a team like the Eagles, I don't know. When was the last time we played them? Have we played them with Jalen Hurts?
I feel like we haven't. I feel like it's been a while since we played them.
Yeah, I can't really say we match up good against them because I can't remember a time where we played Jalen Hurts.
I think we played them in 2020.
I think the last time we played them was when we beat them in the playoffs.
I think we played them the next year. And it was during our 2020 run. I feel like that season is kind of just lost to history. But we played them, and it was almost... Do you remember we beat them like 17-9 like 3 times in a row?
Yeah.
It was like the third 17-9 game.
Okay. I just don't remember, but that's fine.
I forgot about it, too, until the other day. For some reason, I was looking at the 2020 season. I was like, we played the Eagles? I don't remember that at all. But, because we played the whole NFC East that year.
Gotcha.
But, anywho, they were playing Carson Wentz last time we played them. So I feel like we haven't really faced this current iteration of the Eagles, and it'll be interesting to see how we match up against a really mobile quarterback with a really good wide receiver duo. But my thing with the Eagles when we play them is holding up in pass protection against their interior D-line is going to be a tough task, and that may make them a difficult matchup for us.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like every time I'm worried about our line getting their ass whooped, they have a great game. So
Yeah.
who knows?
And then I wasn't worried this weekend. And
Exactly. So we'll see. But as far as this weekend's game goes, I do think we're gonna win. My prediction, I think it's gonna be sort of a defensive game, sort of not. I think it's gonna be a 24 to 17 sort of game, and we're gonna win by a touchdown.
That sounds like me being mostly pissed off for 3 hours.
We're gonna punch. Gino's gonna punch it in.
It's gonna be one of those ugly games, and Pete Carroll after the game is gonna be like, "Yeah, well, this is what we love. We just love the guys out there."
He's just gonna go up to the podium and be like, today was an absolute demonstration of finishing. This is exactly what we preach all season long. You know.
And then he's gonna be like, "Oh, he's a tremendous football player for us. We love the way he plays football."
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're gonna beat the brakes off them. I think it's been getting close to happening.
It is a divisional game, Ryan. Those divisional games are never blowouts unless John Skelton is playing quarterback. Remember that.
Who are we playing again?
Arizona.
The Cardinals.
Oh.
I think we're gonna win 28-10, and it may be 13 or 14-10 and a half, but I think this is the worst offense that we'll have played in a few weeks. You know, I guess maybe you could say the Giants are probably worse than them on offense.
Yeah.
But much worse than what we played last week. And on defense, they've been chippy, but we are so much more talented than this team. I think it's going to show up this week.
Yeah.
So you're telling me to start JSN?
Sure.
Okay. I'm putting that on you, Ryan. Okay.
All right. That's fair.
Because 28-10, he's got to find a touchdown.
Yeah, fuck it. JSN gets his first touchdown this weekend. You heard it here
I'm
first.
saying he's a healthy scratch.
It's just not going to happen.
Okay, that's the intro. Healthy scratch.
All right, but yeah, that's all I had for this one. I know we didn't talk about the Cardinals much, but hopefully they don't make us eat our lack of words. But I don't have a lot to say about them because I think they're playing for next year.
Well, and we won't have to eat that much of the words because there is the lack thereof. So it won't be that bad.
All right, well, thanks for checking in to the JR Takes Sportscast. As always, Ryan and Jonah.
Yes. Hopefully we will get a dub and be happy next week.
Yep. Catch you on the next one.
Yes. How long was that, Colby? I was kind of getting worried about the